365 Days of Horsemanship, day 170. Oh, a really nice day today. I feel really grateful that I had the motivation to make it up here in the morning. On my days off, the morning is just like the ideal place, the ideal time for me to come up here. I definitely am easily distracted to stay at home if my partner's at home, and the bed is warm and we can have cuddles. And I go, I'll go later. But coming in the morning is the best. Honestly, it's just the best to have that time here and to just feel like the day is my oyster is just really lovely. I spent about an hour with each horse today, which was also really nice to feel like that I had spent all that time with them. I mean, I didn't even notice it, which was really lovely. With Lawrence, I worked again around this touching distance. Definitely it's better with the grazing. That area sort of like around his hamstrings, his hind end is definitely still liable to push him into flight. There were a couple of times where I'd put my hand somewhere. I kind of played a pattern where I would like sort of stroke around his body looking for a focus change, and then I would stop in that place, and then immediately he would start walking. But it wasn't so fast that I couldn't keep up, and so I would walk with him, and then he would stop, graze again, and then usually there would be a blowout or like some other kind of focus change. So I was sort of happy with that. I think it's just, it's just consistency and time playing with it. For now, I think I'm just really trying to just feel like he's comfortable with that. I'm kind of like a bit sporadic, I think. Maybe I don't really have any direction. I'm not going like, I want here because I'm going to do this, yield from here, or I'm going to do there because I want this yield from there. I think maybe it's definitely important to stay progressive and have that be my next step. But at this point, I think I just really want to try to not be too direct line and just look for easy places to help him adjust to the general concept, because at the moment I think the general concept is hard of being touched. But it was good. I felt good about it. There were some nice moments. I had my tripod, my little camera out again, which was cool. It gave me a good opportunity for a couple of nice moments of curiosity that I could be in flow with at a touching distance, so that was really nice. And he just generally seemed quite interactive today, even though he was grazing, which was really nice. I didn't feel like he was just switched off, which was good. And to be honest, that's kind of all I really want from him. I had a good session with Mia as well, and actually both sessions, thinking about it, I have this interesting kind of like thought for the day. With Mia, I started off at a distance and I played for quite a long time at a distance. I kind of realized today, I think the key for her is the ears, because actually when I'm at a distance, she's not as stressed, so it's much easier to be in flow. But there's times when her ears are like in that kind of like floppy half backwards position that's like classic self-focus, and so she'll be in that ear sort of alignment for quite some time, and then one of her ears will flick like forwards or to something else, and those are the times where I was making focus changes. And then if she was staying in the self-focus for quite a long time, that's when I was going into supportive leadership and then stopping again when the ears would move. And that definitely after some time started to pique her interest. And she would have the pattern was that I would walk around, we would find a good place, then we would kind of end up yielding together so that I was like directly in front of her, and then she would be really interested in me for a while, and there'll be a lot of like sort of focus changes looking towards me, and then I would just try to have good timing between sort of alternating my places of flow and going in the right directions, moving to the right places. And then it would be about choosing the right time to go back into my supportive leadership. After some time, she then went to the hay bale, and I came over and did one of her plats, which was really nice. And that just seemed really peaceful. It was just a really nice energy. The sun's out today. It's like a lovely temperature. You know, I got my jumper on, but I don't feel cold. You know, the sun is just like, feels warm, but there's a lovely breeze. Like, I wish the weather could just be like this all year. It's like so pleasant, and really nice. So yeah, it was just really idyllic, to be honest, just doing her plat. She's just eating and I'm just next to her, and it just felt really just nice to be together. And at this point I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to halter her or not, what I'm going to do. And I start playing the game with the halter like I always do, and I definitely feel like that consistency is just really powerful. Like, I did not have to do as much today. And it felt like she basically walked me almost right down to the gate, which is where we would go if we were going up to the arena. And I would put a little bit of pressure on, really hardly touching her, and then she'd start walking quite calmly. And so I would walk with her, and she, like, ears are forward, she's looking, you know, relaxed, head's low. We're walking together quite happily. Then we're having a stop, we're having a look around at the herd. I'm thinking, this is really great. You know, she's feeling good. You know, that pressure goes on, and the next thing that happens is that she opens up and she feels curious, and she looks around and she feels better. And I think that's a really positive association to have with that pressure. And I'm hoping that with time, it will just improve her whole relationship with the halter, because that is fundamentally always the end result of that pattern. Yeah, and so in the end she went into a nice sleep at the bottom of the hill by the gate, and so I put the halter on then, which was really nice, because putting it on while she was sort of in a place of comfort then meant it was bringing her out into a place of curiosity, which was nice too. And then I played a little bit with just some circles, some hill therapy in the field where she was, which actually went quite well. It went quite nicely. I think I need to remember those first few circles to make sure I'm stopping too much, because otherwise she ends up stopping me and then I'm not stopping enough for her. And I need to remember that actually what I want is for her to be like, oh my God, like let's walk. Like, I don't want to stop anymore. You know, I want her to be like, geez, we're stopping too much, rather than the other way around. So I think I just need to be more aware of that. But with time, it did improve. With a few circles, it did improve. Because otherwise you end up getting into a fight, you know, like she stops before you want her to, and then I end up having to ask her to move, and then she's annoyed because she wanted to stop. So the best way to avoid that fight is just not to fight about it. You know, if she wants to stop and I missed it, I should stop with her. But actually, I should aim, if I'm noticing she's stopping a lot, which she does the first few circles, twice in a row now, she's done that. And then, you know, after a few circles has then been quite happy to be walking. So I think, you know, next time I play with that, I just need to remember for the first few circles just to stop a lot. And then after some time, she will walk herself, and I won't have ever needed to get into that fight or have her have to make any decisions like that. But it was good. It felt really good. We were quite happy for a couple of circles together, and then we changed direction, did the same thing the other direction, changed back again, did some more, and she had a nice looking shoe, so I ended it there. When I took the halter off, you know, the first thing she did was sort of touch her nose to me. One of the other horses came over, so I was able to go and see him, and that was actually really nice too, because she was really watching me while I was sort of like nose to hand with him, and I could tell she was quite curious about that, and I was trying to sort of stay in flow with her as well while allowing him to be curious about me. And then as I was walking away, he then wanted to say hello to her, and I could see like she was quite nervous, and so she sort of sniffed him a little bit, like allowed him to sniff her neck, she sniffed his neck, and then she sort of like withdrew. And I think it's really interesting, I've seen her a lot more recently in flow with other horses grazing, and I think it's probably arrogant of me to assume that that's because of the work that we're doing, but whatever the reason is, I'm really happy for her that she's finding some more flow with horses, and that she's finding that she feels safe being the same as other horses, and it's okay to interact with them. I think that's really powerful for her. I think she finds it hard to trust other horses, and to feel safe around them, and that definitely was what I was seeing today with her and this other horse. And I was really happy for her that she was able to kind of push her boundaries a little bit, and then he very wisely slotted in next to her and they started grazing together, and it just looked like a really nice picture, so I left there. And I was really pleased with the session. I think something I've been thinking about today is the difference between goals and results. I think, a lot of people will say, or I've said in the past, like, oh, what are your goals? Oh, well, my goals are, so for example, right now, in the past, I'd have said my goal is to be able to do hill therapy with Mia and have her feel okay about it. My goal is to be able to rock Lawrence into a better feeling. But actually, I think when I'm in the session, those shouldn't be my goals. Those should be the results that I'm looking for. My goal is for the horse to feel better. That's always the goal. And by meeting that goal in different positions and different distances and different speeds, i.e. on a circle, walking, by the shoulder, touching, you by extension have those results, but the goal is not to do the task. The goal is the horse to feel better. And I think that's something, when they talk about reverse psychology and being direct line, I think that's something I never really had understood before, never really had appreciated before or realized like that. But I think that's something that's been really powerful for me today, just that shift where actually it's, if I'm hoping a certain result will happen after consistency of me being here, then it's up to me to set up the distance and the technique to make that happen. But when I'm there, my goal is not to make the horse be on a circle. My goal is not to make the horse, be rocked or to yield, to make the horse move sideways or whatever. My goal is for the horse to feel better when I'm in the position I need to be in to make the result. And if the horse feels better every time, that result will happen naturally, but it's not the goal when I'm actually there in the moment, because for that horse, the horse's goal is to feel better, and I have to align myself with the horse's goals in order for us to be able to do something together. And that was a really just powerful realization, I think, is that the result is sort of like the environment, like it's something that happens like passively along the journey. The active thing that I'm trying to do is watch for the horse feeling better. And that just causes me to have better feel and timing. Because then it means I'm not looking for the moment when the task was done the best to release. I'm looking for the moment that the horse felt the best. And that's what the horse will remember. And that's where I can come back again the next time. For us with our human eyes, we look for the moment that it looked the best. And yes, it's really important to release when things look good sort of later on, but you can only really do that if the horse already feels good about doing it. Feeling good needs to come first. If the horse is feeling good about doing the action and then it does the action well, that's a great time to say, yeah, that's so awesome. But that is sort of like the level afterwards. If your horse is feeling uncomfortable and not in a learning state of mind, that has to come first. If they're not engaged and interested and curious in the task, then the goal has to be that they feel better about it. So yes, that was a great realization. I'm really, really pleased with that one. So yeah, looking forward to coming back tomorrow. Oh, there's little Lawrence over there. Looking forward to coming back tomorrow and practicing that some more.